Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m., October 22nd. Welcome to my channel. So, we have balance going on in the markets. I've been talking about this every day about the election that's ahead of us, all right, or coming up, right? So, anytime the market tries to do something, it gets knocked back, either if it's going up or if it's going down, it gets bought up. So, we're just in balance, and we're almost in ultimate balance, and we'll get into that later. Okay, so a couple earnings. Remember, earnings season has started, and we had a couple report this morning. So we'll get into all that stuff. And without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the preceding day. That's my edge. That's how I see the markets. Okay, and then obviously once the market opens, I use my market internals and stuff to look at day trades, right? And to put risk on or to keep risk off. Okay. And when I do those trades, right, I like to make educational videos on the criteria that I used. Okay. And I post them on my X account. So that's at Gonzo719. Okay. I put them on my YouTube shorts. You can check those out there. And also on TikTok at Gonzo719Trader. And as always, if you enjoy my content, please smash that like button for me. Right? Now I do this every day at 8:10 a.m. And why don't you join me? Subscribe. Right? I want to hit 200 subscribers. Set an alert. Right? Use me as your market cliff notes. That kind of dates me probably, but use me as your market guru in the morning to give you the recap of yesterday, what's going on this morning, leaders and laggards, market news, economic calendar. We go over daily charts here, and then at the main event at around 8:30, I analyze the ES and the Nasdaq futures, come up with long and short trade scenarios. Okay, long and short trade scenarios. So, without further ado, let's get into the watch list here, and let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. So, we got a VIX, and it's elevated again. All right, up 4.52%. Okay, silver up 1.59. Crude is trying to come off the bottom here, up 0.81. Dollars up 0.50. I'm looking like the yen is falling. So gold up 0.34. Now, obviously, usually they're inversely correlated, gold and the dollar, but gold's just on fire. So now this 10-year yield is something interesting. Before it was up more. The yield was at the 4.2 something. So this is, I think, might be causing a little, I wouldn't say panic in the markets, but like the Russell's really affected by the 10-year yield. So this, I don't know how far this yield could rise, but it's probably surprising some people, right? Now, 30-year bonds are flat. The Dow is down 0.31, ES down 0.36, the Nasdaq's down 0.42, Russell's down 0.47, Bitcoin's down. Bitcoin was down earlier before, down 0.52. Okay, Ether's down 1.6. All right, let's move on to the Mag 7 Plus. All right, we got Nvidia. Nvidia's up 0.23. That's the only, if you call that a leader. I see they have plans to expand something in Thailand. So the rest, everybody's down. All right, now let's just go to the half and more percenters down. Tesla's down 0.58. Apple's down 0.76. Coinbase down 1.66. Snowflake down 2.22. And GE reported earnings this morning. We'll get into that. They're down 4.81%. So they're down 4.81%. Now that's the largest holding in the industrial sector. Okay. That's the largest holding in the industrial sector. All right, moving on to the top sector stocks. Let's look at the leaders here. The only little leader is Chevron, Walmart. Oops, sorry. So we got Chevron. Okay, it's only up 0.18. Walmart's only up 0.06. So not much leaders here. Okay, not much leaders here. We go to the laggards. Let's see here. We got Disney's down 0.32, Visa down 0.33, Goldman Sachs down 0.35, Qualcomm down 0.48, and Home Depot down 1.57. Now, I'm not really sure why Home Depot. I don't think they reported yet. They don't report to November 12th, but they're down. Now, I'm not sure when Lowe's reports, but we'll look into that later. All right, let's go to the swing trade list. And the swing trade list, let's see here. We have 3M. They reported earnings. They are up 6.31%. Donald Trump stock up 3.42. Philip Morris up 2.67. For Solar got an upgrade. They're up 1.88%. Raytheon reported earnings. They're up 1.51. Gold Junior Miners moving. They're up 1.20. Oracle's up 0.81. All right, that's about it. I want to talk about the leaders. Now let's get to the laggards. Laggards, okay. GPC. Why am I'm ticker GPC. For some reason, that ticker is escaping my mind right now. What that is? I don't know. GPC. I can't remember. Usually, I remember every ticker. So anyway, GPC is down 10.15. Sherman Williams. That's one of the largest stocks in basic materials, down 4.30. Verizon, believe reported earnings, they're down 2.79. Riot, Bitcoin related, Mara, Bitcoin related, they're down 1.33, 1.23. There it is. Well, Lowe's is down 1.15. Now, Lowe's and Home Depot, obviously, in sympathy, they're kind of the same business. Nextera Energy, they're down 1%. Now, Duke Energy got a downgrade, so in sympathy, they're probably going down. All right, so we'll wrap up the laggards here. Okay. And we will go to the guts of the market and see what's going on here. Energy leading the pack up 0.26. All right. And the rest are all lagging. All right. In the bottom here. So we got, let's just go over it. Semiconductors down 0.21. Moving around on me here. XLK, the largest weighted sector in the S&P 500, down 0.28. It's kind of moving around on me. Financials down 0.32. Communications down 0.41. Discretionary, that's your Home Depot, your Amazon, your Tesla, down 0.53. Utilities down 0.69 with that Duke Energy downgrade. Basic materials rounding out the bottom because of Sherman Williams, down 0.81. All right, that's what's going on with the sectors. All right, that's your sectors. Okay, now we can get into some economic calendar and news. Let's do that. Not sure if we have Rosita or who's here today, but welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're a regular. Okay, so let's look at today. Very light. Fed Harker speaking at 10 a.m. Fed Harker speaking at 10 a.m. That's about it. API crude at 4:30. That's very light data today. Very light. Okay. One thing in the juice here. Now, Asian stocks drop as bonds continue to sell off. Now, yesterday, right here, Treasury's 10-year yields rose 11 basis points to 4.2 on Monday after the Fed's Schmid said he prefers a slower pace of interest rate cuts due to uncertainties about how low the U.S. central bank should eventually cut rates. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. The 10-year yield, it's kind of crazy. Okay, it's kind of crazy, especially with cuts coming. Okay, that's what's going on there. Now, let's get into some other news, into some results here, earnings results. General Motors, remember, it's the largest holding in the industrial sector. Stock rose 0.7, but it's down now. Okay, after the auto giant reported third quarter earnings that exceeded analyst estimates, helped by robust revenue growth and improved profitability. So I don't know, I'm not sure why it's down. All right, now Verizon stock fell 1.6 after the telecom giant reported mixed third quarter results, with earnings slightly beating expectations but revenue falling short. All right, 3M stock rose 4.1 after the industrial conglomerate reported better than expected third quarter results. Raytheon stock rose 0.8 after the aerospace and defense company reported third quarter earnings that surpassed analyst estimates. Target stock fell 0.2 after the retail giant announced plans to reduce prices on more than 2,000 items in effort to attract bargain hunting shoppers during the holiday season. Now, possibly that could be the Home Depot and Lowe's, possibly. Then GE Aerospace stock fell. Okay, now this might be the now GE encompasses other tickers. Okay, maybe because GE Aerospace now, even though it has its oh no, I'm sorry folks. Let me restate this. The first thing I said was General Motors, so I apologize. Not GE, General Motors. Now we talk about GE. Stock fell 4.2 after the company reported mixed third quarter results, with earnings just beating expectations but revenues falling short. That's why GE is down. All right. Lucid Group stock rose 3.1 after the CEO Peter Rawlinson told CNBC said investors misinterpreted a public offering, which raised roughly 1.75 billion, as it was timely strategic business decision to ensure the electric vehicle company has enough capital for its ongoing operations. Okay, so GM, not GE, rose. GE fell. Is falling because it disappointed with revenue. Okay, that's what's going on there. Now let's just look real quick at our upgrades and downgrades. We'll refresh it. Who's upgraded for solar? Upgraded. Downgrades. We got Duke Energy. That's what I was talking about. All right. Now initiations. Let's get into that. Costco initiated at outperform with a price target of 1,016. My lord. All right. Dollar General outperform. Dollar Tree market perform. Home Depot market perform. Okay. Hershey sell. Wow. Hershey's kind of like a staple. It's initiated at a sell at a price target of 165. Interesting. Here it is. Lowe's outperform. Now these are getting price target higher than what they are, so I'm not still sure why Home Depot and Lowe's. Like I said, maybe the Target news. No, Target. Let's see. Target market perform. All right. Walmart outperform. So Walmart outperform. All right. Now let's go to Target raises and lowers. Target raised. Let's see here. I'm just going to go Target. I mean, these have not been good. These have not been good. All right. Let's go to earnings. I'm not going to concentrate too much on that. Let's go to earnings and just see before the open. Before the open today was Verizon, GM, 3M, Raytheon, Freeport McMoran, Copper and Gold, GE Aerospace, Lockheed Martin. So we just talked about Sherwin-Williams, Philip Morris. All right. Today after the close, Enphase, Texas Instruments. Okay. Tomorrow before the open, Vertiv, Boeing, AT&T, Coca-Cola, NextEra Energy. Okay. CME Group, Boston Scientific, and General Dynamics. All right. That is earnings. Okay. That is earnings. Now let's move on to daily charts. Let's move on to daily charts. Give me one sec here. All right, daily charts. Let's look what we have going here. We have balance going basically. Okay, zoom in here. So what do we got going here? A whole lot of nothing. Okay, whole lot of nothing. So yesterday, the SPY finally hit the 90 MA daily. You see that right to the tick, boom, and then got bought. All right, then got bought. Also, kind of bottom of balance, right? So where are we at now? 581.64. 581.64. Right? So we're right at the lower third of yesterday's session right now. The lower third. So we did wind up coming up and closing up here, right here. Okay, so but we're down here now. Let's look at futures to get a better look, just a better visualization. Look at this balance. We're just in a big balance area, okay? And we really came down to the previous lows and got bought. Well, this is the overnight session. This was yesterday. Okay, so yesterday you came into basically, you didn't go all the way down here, but you came down here, broke these two lows, and then you got bought up, right? Hit the 9 EMA daily on the futures as well. Okay, so we're right here right now. Okay, let's look at the Qs. And if now yesterday in the markets, technology was strong. Okay, you had Nvidia breaking all-time highs and Apple pushing, right? So technology was not weak yesterday. Okay, it was relatively stronger for a change, you know. So again, disconnect in the markets almost every day. There was a disconnect. All right. So where are we? What do we do? Came right down to this daily candle, got bought up, hit the 9 EMA daily as well, got bought up. Now you can see the difference between the candles, right? Nasdaq, this candle is white, or you want to call it green. The SPYs was black, right? Was a down. You know, we opened, closed lower than the open, right? So here we opened here, closed here. Okay, but we're still in this kind of balance, right? Where are we at now? 493.55. 493.55 puts us close to yesterday's open. Okay, so we're kind of close to the middle of the range in the Nasdaq. Okay, now Nvidia is still up this morning, and so is Microsoft. Okay, so technology isn't like the weakest sectors. The utilities and basic materials are. So that's interesting, right? Let's go to the Nasdaq futures. Okay, and we're just in this big balance area. Look at this. We just came out of this big balance area, right? And then all we did is push, and now we're lollygag. It's kind of this slow grind. Okay, slow grind. Hit the 90 minute daily. Now look, we got kind of a weak high here. Call it maybe like 205.45 in futures. Okay, 205.45. See what we can do here. You got a kind of a weak low here, about like 203.45 here. So we're just in this balance, okay? Now, let's move on to our triple-headed monster with this 10-year yield, right? With this 10-year yield. Look at that spike. Right up over the 200-day moving average. Now it's getting some wick action here. Just have to see. I mean, the next resistance area is 4.28 yield. Now, it went up all the way to 4.21 this morning, but now it's kind of falling back. This is very interesting in this bond market. Okay? It's gonna be interesting. All right? Very, very interesting. It's kind of spooking like the market's a little bit. Okay? Let's look at that second head. All right, that's your dollar. Now your dollar is pushing over the 200-day moving average just like 10-year yields, right? Right to this key level right here, 103.90. 103.90. Now again, higher dollar is not the best for commodities. It's not the best for equities. Okay, it's not the best. All right. So this is very interesting. Now that means that I saw that the yen is falling. Okay, so let's look at the yen. There's the yen. Look, it's just falling, right? Right to the 200-day moving average. The euro should be falling as well. Yes, past the 200-day moving average, right? So this is, we'll call it strength in the dollar. That's how this works. Okay. Now let's go to that third head. That's your VIX. This is your fear gauge or your hedge gauge, and it's really a hedge gauge right now because there's not fear. We're close to all-time highs, right? Got an election coming, so people are hedged up. That's all it is, and it should stay this way. Okay. So that's what's going on. We're at a 19 VIX. 16 VIX is a 1% expected move in the SP 500, plus or minus. That's all we got to talk about. We're kind of just in this range. It's not much to dive into here. All right, let's move on. We're going to the main event. That's your market profile, your volume profile analysis. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. All right. So maybe make this a little smaller. All right. Let's look at structure. Let's look at structure. Balance. Look at this beautiful. You want to talk about bell curve? Look at that distribution. Value areas here. Look at that. That's if you were like a market profile like guru, or maybe I call myself one, or a volume profile, you would get that tattoo. That you can't get any more even distribution, right? That just tells you balance, right? Balance. Now, I track the most traded price of the week in the real time trading hours in the 24 hours. So the 24 hour is 5,900 right here. Real time trading hours is here, which is around 5887. Okay. But they're fairly in the general area. Okay. Fairly in general. Now, the most traded price of the month is 5790 in the ES. That has not moved up yet. But I have a feeling, right? You can see the orange is this, all it needs is to stay in here today. That will move up. That will become ultimate balance. In ultimate balance, you get monster moves. Okay? Not in ultimate balance yet. We're in balance, but not ultimate balance. Okay? We're in ultimate balance. Now, yesterday, what did we do? Opened up, pushed up into this supply, right? Then we sold off right into this fresh demand. And then that was the double bottom, and we got bought up. And then we played around this level, and then we closed up here. Okay? Now, I will be making a video. I went long around right here. And I was able to catch that move. So a pretty nice trade. Okay, so, all right. Now, what did we do? We talked about it yesterday, right? Remember we had the mini balance area I was talking about? And I said you have the larger balance area, right? Well, we broke the mini, and now we couldn't go quite to this bottom balance area, but we got bought up into this fresh demand zone, okay? So, it was just imbalance, right? Got bought up. Now, check this out, right? Price is here, 58.71. We're inside the yesterday's session, right? But we have a weak low here, 58.65. So 58.65 to 58.63, bulls want to defend this, sellers want to break it, right? So we have a weak low here, confluence low. Now to the top side, yeah, we still have this weak high here, 59.15, with supply there. Okay, so I'd say that's the playground for today. What did I say? 58.65 to 59.15 to the top. All right. Now, when you're in balance, okay, when you're in balance, the mean in here would be your most traded price of the week becomes kind of a tipping point. So when anytime you extend out here, that normally you tend to just not go through these areas, but when you're in balance, you kind of play through them, and you can keep doing this, right? So it's in balance until it's not. That's really it, right? What I feel like, and part of the reason I went in the trade yesterday was okay, we're in a fresh demand zone down here yesterday. The market was weak, but tech was leading, right, with Nvidia and Apple. And the way this market has been lately is nobody wants to be holding the bag. So that was part of it. That's the part of the theme lately, right? No one wants to hold the bag. So whenever you're down, and there was an order flow trap yesterday, another reason why I got in. Okay, that's another reason. So, um, and it just went right up, right? So who knows? That could happen again. We got a nice fresh demand zone here. We can come down here again, maybe even test that 58.53 down here and get bought up again, right? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. That's our levels today, okay? I don't think there's much to talk about because it's imbalance, right? Whenever you're in balance, it's the edge game, all right? It's the edge game, all right? Inventory. Now, we could talk about inventory, so this is kind of important. Let's talk about it. There's the open of the overnight. That's the only longs, right? That's the only long activity to this much short. And you're at the bottom. Okay, so that is a little feather in the cap for me to fade this and go long. Okay, to go long because I know the overnight is all short. Okay, all short. And we're coming into the bottom of balance area here. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it just because of that, but it kind of makes it better because if we come down here and extend and then kind of recover and then the market's not that weak, yeah, we're going to probably do this. Okay, because we're in balance, right? And you're in balance until you're not. You need a breakout and then a confirmation of the breakout. So that's what we're dealing with here today. All right, so why don't we get into scenarios here. Pretty easy today. Okay, pretty easy. Really, let's just talk about this. This demand zone's fresh. Okay, what does the market do in this area? Balance area lows. You could break this weak low, come in here, and now remember, if the market internals for me, what I look at is like benign, they're in parity, they're not that weak, and we're coming down here, and all we do is break this support, but like there's not much weakness, I'm going to be ready to go long. If we do a little higher low, to go back to the mean and hopefully go back to the other side of balance, the 59.15's weak high, and try to break out or just go to the top of balance. That's kind of what I would be looking for. All right? That's the A plus situation. All right? Because if you do break this balance, you could potentially, if you got weak market, you could go down, right? So this is like the last line of defense here. Remember, 59, 58.53, 58.50 is balance lows, which you break that, and with a weak market, it's going to take the market down. Now you do have 58.21 here. We'll talk about that in a short scenario. So I'm really only interested, really, probably in something like this. If you're very conservative, right, and you're like, oh, I don't want to buy a bottom like that. The only other thing I could see is if we went up, took out, you know, went up, took out that supply and kind of held above the most traded price, maybe you would want to get long and see if you could do here. That's conservative, right? Risk to reward is not as great, but that's more conservative, right? Let's move on to bear. Very simple here as well. All right, now, if I'm looking at this right now, right, yesterday's lows is actually a weak low on its own. Okay, so it's got kind of a double bottom here. So I can show you that really quickly. All that really means is there's not a great excess. Let's go to the bars aligned here. See right here? Usually that gets corrected, and then you have the overnight lows here, which makes it stronger to get broken. Okay. So sellers want to break that. Okay. And you still can use this level, the 58.87, as kind of a resistance. You got supply here as well. Okay, so if like I said, this comes down here, you can see a break. All right, this is if you're a bear. Okay, now one or two things going to happen. You can come down here, break the 58.50, it's this demand zone, right? And let's say you do that. You hit these single prints, and let's say you bounce up and you start holding out of this balance area. Well, then you can test this demand, and you could possibly go to 58.21, the month to date anchored VWAP. Okay. Now, what also can happen is, right, we can push up, right? Remember, we're almost 100% net short. Push up into this supply and into the most traded price. And if you get resistance here and you can't go above accept value below and you start doing this, well, that also could take this out, the week low of 58.65, take that out, and then you can try to knock out that 58.50 and again do this, right? The month of day V. Like I said, in this market, the probabilities are lower that we break out to the downside just because of the way the market has been moving. Okay? But we don't know. Right? I'd say ultimate 57.90 if we were to really make a move down. Really make a move down. Now the other one, obviously, if the market is, let's say the market is in parity, which means like there's no big strength or weakness, right? And let's say we do this with no big strength or weakness, we come up here. 59.15 is a weak high, confluence high, okay? Sellers defend that, bulls want to break it. Let's say we come up here and we go like this, higher low, higher low. Well, then we're going to go probably back to the mean and maybe to the other side of balance. Okay? That's all you have to look at it today. It's pretty simple. Let's move on to our NASDAQ. Now, our NASDAQ is a different story. We are in ultimate balance. Okay? Ultimate balance. Beautiful profile here. Balance profile. You got value area right here and here. Price is right outside of the value area low. Okay? Now, what do you notice here? This is my most traded price of the month. 204. This is the real-time trading hours one. Okay? 24 hours here. So they're basically the same. Now, most traded price of the week, 204.75 is right here. Happened to be the most traded price of yesterday. So look at this area here. The most trades of the last month, the last week, and yesterday have happened in this area. It's such a congested area. However, it's begging to get for a breakout. All right, so if you look at it from here, big dip, and then all this is doing is coiling and coiling and coiling and coiling and coiling. It's going to go boom or boom. It's just a matter of time. And the more coil, the bigger the energy when it springs. Okay? So we're in ultimate balance. Okay, so our playground. Okay, you could see the NASDAQ hit this demand yesterday right here and popped up. Right? This is our playground, this demand zone. Right? And you basically got this area here, which encompasses like 205.70 something to 205.50 or 205.49.75, like this area. That's the playground. That's it. Now the market's pushing down a little bit right now. Okay, GE is even getting more weaker. Down 5.7% right now. Pretty interesting. Okay, now the market has turned a little bit. Okay, market has turned a little. I'm looking at the watch list just to show you guys here. Before, Nvidia was green. Now Nvidia is down, right? And let's look at Broadcom. Is down 1.13. Apple's down 1.12. So we're getting some Nasdaq weakness right now. Okay. Now let's go to here. Let's look at some levels. There's the only, like I said, really got a weak low here, 2,345, right there, in this demand. Month to day VWAP, anchor VWAP, 202.60. Write that down, 202.60. The last time we came down to it was defended. Okay. The other level is 205.54 to 205.49. That's a weak high. This is it. That's the playground. I want to act when it gets in here, and I want to act if it touches here. If you're in this area, you're asking to get chopped up. You're asking to get chopped up. It's a gamble. You might as well go to Atlantic City or Vegas. Okay? It's a gamble. Can you win the gamble? Of course. But why play in something that doesn't have a high probability, right? What kind of edge? You really going to tell me if you go long or short in here that you're going to know what the market's going to do? You're not. Okay. So yeah, that's our playground. So that's pretty simple. Okay. Now what do we have here? We have inventory, right? So here's the open. That's the long to all this short. We're at the bottom, right? Like I said, setting up for a break of this low to hold this demand to get possibly go to the other side of bounce. That's what I would edge towards right now. Okay, that's what I would edge towards. Now, we'll go right into scenarios because that's what we're going to do now. We go right into scenarios. All right, let's talk about the bull case right now because I'm liking it. Because the theme of the market, like I said, is who wants to hold the bag in front of an election. That's what this market's telling me, right? Who wants to hold the bag? I understand 10-year yields are rising, right? But the 10-year yield, let's talk about that. That's kind of came down to flat now. So I don't know if 4.2 is going to be where people start buying bonds. I don't know. Okay, but we do know cuts are coming. Okay. All right. Let's get into scenarios here. Let's do it. I might have put that up twice. I'm pretty sure I did, but that doesn't matter, right? All right, here we go. We got a weak low, 203.45. Write it down. 203.45. That could be a breakdown level. Now, I don't care if that breaks down. All right, I'm actually hoping it does because we got double demands here, really. So you got one here and then one here. And a high volume node here with the month-to-day VWAP here. So if the market's super weak, I'm just gonna let it go to key level, right? I'm not gonna try to predict little moves. Okay, so what is it gonna do if it breaks that weak low and comes into this demand? What is it gonna do? Like I said, if the market is not that weak, all this would do is take out this support, and let's say we do that and we extend, but then we do a higher low, and the market starts to firm up. Okay, when you're in balance, why is this work this way, right? Because shorts that are up here, once we come to the other side of balance, what do you think they're going to do? Take profits, and they become buyers. Because then that goes right back to the balance, the story of balance. You go back to here, guess what happens? The longs take profits, and they become sellers until there's a breakout. Okay, so that's why that happens. That's why I'm saying I'm liking that long. Okay, so if we come down here, what do? We do it, and then market's firming up. I want to get long, and I don't care if I'm long down here and it gets in this chop zone. But if the market's weak, it could really rip because there's shorts from up here who are covering. Okay, look, it's almost going to test it now. Okay, and then I want to see, what do? Do we break out of this 205.49 and clean up these single prints and try to test this supply and go back up to 207? I don't know. That would be more of a breakout. We could very well just do this and come back to the mean. But that's really all I'm interested in. Now, I am interested in all the bottom of the bracket really is all the way down here. Let's just call it 202 even. All right. I would still be watching the market here if it came down here. And if we're not that weak, another thing, I'm going to try to see if we can come back to the mean. Okay. Now, the short side, again, we have a similar setup. Now, really what I would like to see is the push down, break this weak low, 203.45, come down, get some love, come back all the way up here into the supply. This is a very key level here, this 204.75. See if we can find acceptance above it. If we can't, boom, then you can roll over, right, and test right here. Bottomless demand, but then you got the month-to-day view. Like I said, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. You slam through this high volume node. That's the bottom of our balance area here. And then you could possibly go down to this level here. 200.50. Now, that would be a breakout that to the downside. I don't know, right? I don't know, right? Also, you could get resistance up here. You can come up here and boom, break this little weak high, hit that supply, and then roll over, go back to the mean chop. Okay. Of course, you can just come right down here, take out these demands. If this is really weak, hold down here and go to here. Like I said, less probability, less probability. Okay. So, folks, that will do it. That will do it, folks. Okay. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that analysis and all the other stuff that I talked about. All right. Hopefully, you liked it. Smash the like button for me. All right. Now, remember, hopefully, you guys can just join me. I do this every day at 8, 10 a.m. Just come join me. Have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, and go, all right, I'm in my car. Let me just listen to my boy. And you hear exactly what's going on in the market. And importantly, why the market's doing what it's doing. Why is it doing what it's doing, right? There's always a reason, right? I can't predict every swing in the market, but there's always a story. So just remember that, all right? Everybody have a great day. Stay green, stay patient. Remember, no trade's a trade. I have to tell myself that. No trade's a trade, right? So everybody have a great day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.